homie.
So Ryan, let's get back into talking about. I know you wanted to bring up sort of the evolution of OSG and what's happening with regionals this year. I think you know a lot more than I do about it. You want to kind of educate me and the fans about what's going on there?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to talk about it. So I'm happy to announce that I'm coordinating with Lynn Morehouse, Derek Owens, Alex Pagan. Lynn shares the same vision that we do at Dungeon, which one of the main reasons that we even existed is we wanted to bring real opportunity to athletes in the area. A good friend of ours, Josh Hatfield, who was here, and he just moved over to Kentucky. Him, Aaron, Rachel. I can just go on about all the athletes that came from the Pacific Northwest, and if they wanted to get any type of attention, it was, hey, go to Florida, go to wherever we went for nationals after Florida. Where was it, Rachel?
Alabama.
Alabama, yeah.
Iowa.
Right, and so it was really a big goal of mine going into last in 2020 to say, okay, where do we bring real opportunity to the area, and that's where the Rainier Classic was really born from. And our really good friend, and that's a story that I always love telling, but of course, Rob Kearney was up here training out of our gym for a little over 7 months, and just him and Joey made such an impact on our community. It's unreal. We love them. We really do. We stay in touch still to this day. But how that brings us into OSG is, Lynn really wanted to expand outside of, okay, how do we get out of just online qualifiers and bring more opportunity to athletes that really are looking to excel in this sport, but they can't, not everybody that competes can afford, $1,000 flight and then, hundreds of dollars in hotel, along with, if they're really taking it serious, they got to bring their meals with them. And it's a huge expense. And the main criticism for a lot of athletes is, and amazing athletes, let me just put it that way, is we just can't get there. And so, Alec is really the one that I've got to give most of the credit to. He came out to our show at the Rainier, and he told me right when he got there, he's like, hey, I'm really excited for this show, and I really want to see how you guys run a show and how professional you are, because we're looking to hopefully, do something with OSG. I was like, okay, great. And obviously Rainier, we blew it out of the water, especially for our first time doing a show, and kind of went from there. And so what the regional system is intended for is to offer 3 separate shows throughout the country. Derek Owens at Battle Axe Barbell is hosting his at the Branch Warren Expo at NRG Stadium in Houston. We'll be doing it out of the Tacoma Convention Center up here in Tacoma, Washington. And then Lynn and the team, we're still coordinating on what that Mid-Atlantic regional is going to look like. But there are now, along with the online qualifier, 3 opportunities that are spread around the country for more athletes to get qualified for OSG Worlds. And on top of that, the regional system also offers the top 3 podium from each weight class, their entry fees paid for Worlds, and then also first place also gets a travel stipend as well. So really, the intention is really, we want the best of the best in the entire world to be able to go to the official Strongman Games, because we're all big fans of it. We want to see that. But the real mission was, how do we bring as much opportunity to the doorstep for those athletes as possible. So that's really what it was born from.
Sweet. Great story for sure. Alec, by the way, wanted to chime in.
All right, I'm calling you Alex from now on, I guess. Fine. Done.
For what it's worth, you've spelled my name wrong every single email, Ryan, so.
For what it's worth, I have not. I looked at your IG and I got it right.
Tell that to the other guy in the box.
You know what? This is what I get. I give Alec a shout out, and then he calls me out online. So that's cool. All right, we'll talk later, Alec. No big deal.
Is that Alec? Was that your coach, Aaron? Okay.
Yeah.
What's up, Alec? Cool. No, good story. So then, how do you think that'll change the number of athletes attending OSG? Will it be a larger collection of athletes this year?
That's the idea. Yeah, that's the idea, is to field a greater pool. I mean, really, the online qualifiers only let the top 10 in, and there were great athletes that were left out last year that, honestly, if they were given a few more months to train, I think they would have given, a lot of athletes that did well in the show run for their money. And so really this system will, please don't hold me to this, but, theoretically it should bring 3 to 4x more opportunity to athletes, not only for spots to go to the show, right? But they also don't have to depend just on, you know, an online qualifier. And honestly, for those of us that are promoters, like, so for me, for Derek, for Lynn, there is something, you know, different about competing in person, and the vibe that comes and the energy and everything like that. And you know, that's one thing in strongman that you never want to lose. I mean, it's a spectator sport. There's nothing like it, right? If you've never had a chance to compete, even as a novice, I just do it once. Do it once, even if it's a novice show, because you'll never know until you don't know, right? And when it comes to something like OSG, and when the fans want to see the best of the best, you know, they want to see it in person as well, and that talks about the, you know, the community as well. So that's really, you know, the other part of this is opportunity, plus the fans want it, honestly, locally.
Yeah, it was tough to tell from the stream, but last year, what was the fan situation? Was there a crowd there? And like, would we like to see more fans? Kind of, how is that all situated?
I'll let Erin talk to that because she was there in person.
Yeah, I think we had a pretty good number of people come. Like, that's something that I think I personally would like to push for more. You know, I think a lot of energy goes towards advertising the events to the competitors, you know, and I wish that it kind of went both ways and also like advertised toward spectators. And, you know, I think part of growing the sport isn't just growing it within the sport and like within the people that are going to be competing and doing the shows, but really growing the sport to a point where it's profitable, you know, relies on the spectators and the people that are watching, and like the people that want to tune into the live stream and come pay tickets to, you know, to actually watch the event. And that's something that I'm personally hoping for with like a bigger venue and kind of more exposure, that we get more people that are wanting to be involved by watching, you know, not necessarily people that want to be part of the sport, but, you know, most people that watch football on TV don't play football themselves. And that's why it's so big. And I think that something that a lot of promoters could work on, is something that I'm hoping to come from this show with our larger venue, is that we kind of promote more towards the people that want to watch as well.
That's a good point, because folks that go watch strongman are usually involved in some way. They're not, you know, pure spectators.
Yeah. And so I think there's a huge opportunity to get people involved, just people that want to watch, you know, people that aren't watching because they're personally invested because they're competitors, but people that just think it's fun to watch. And I think that's kind of an untapped market a little bit right now.